Hello family, welcome to the Tales TV. Please subscribe, leave a like, also share this video to your friends and loved ones and turn on post notifications so you don't miss the future videos from us. Thank you. As you do so, sit back and relax as we dive in the story. Chiamaka, Emeka, and Amarachi were three siblings who grew up in the same household, but their lives took very different paths. They were born to a poor family in a small village in Africa, where the sun beat down relentlessly and the soil was dry and unforgiving. Their parents worked hard to provide for them, but they struggled to make ends meet. Their father was a farmer, and their mother was a trader. They worked from dawn till dusk, but they barely earned enough to feed their children. Chiamaka, the youngest, was a bright and ambitious child. She dreamed of one day escaping the poverty that surrounded her. She spent hours studying and reading, determined to make a better life for herself. She would often sit under the shade of a mango tree, devouring books and dreaming of a brighter future. "I want to be a doctor one day," Chiamaka would tell her siblings. "I want to help people and make a difference in the world." Emeka and Amarachi would smile and encourage her, proud of her ambition. Emeka, on the other hand, was more laid back and easygoing. He was content with his simple life in the village. He helped his parents with their farm work and spent his free time playing with his friends. He was a happy-go-lucky child, always smiling and laughing. "I'm happy with my life just the way it is," Emeka would say. "I don't need to be a doctor or a lawyer. I just want to be happy and content." Chiamaka and Amarachi would tease him good-naturedly, but deep down, they admired his carefree spirit. Amarachi, the eldest, was responsible and caring. She looked out for her younger siblings and helped their parents with household chores. She was a hard worker and always put others before herself. She would often cook and clean for her family, sacrificing her own needs and desires for the sake of others. "I just want to take care of my family," Amarachi would say. "I want to make sure they're happy and healthy." Chiamaka and Emeka would thank her and hug her, grateful for her selflessness. As they grew older, the siblings began to drift apart. Emeka started working in the family business, while Amarachi got married to a wealthy man. Chiamaka, meanwhile, focused on her education. She worked hard and earned a scholarship to study abroad. "I'm so proud of you, Chiamaka," Emeka said, when he heard the news. "You're going to do great things." Amarachi nodded in agreement, smiling warmly at her little sister. "Yes, you're going to make a real difference in the world," Amarachi added. Chiamaka smiled, feeling grateful for her siblings' support. "I couldn't have done it without you guys," she said. "You've always been there for me, encouraging me and supporting me." Emeka and Amarachi hugged her tightly, happy to have played a part in her success. Emeka and Amarachi were proud of Chiamaka's achievements. They knew she had a bright future ahead of her. But despite their pride, Emeka and Amarachi's lives took different turns. Emeka's business flourished, and he became wealthy. Amarachi's husband was kind and generous, but he was also controlling. Amarachi felt trapped in her marriage, but she didn't know how to escape. She felt suffocated by her husband's behavior and longed for freedom. Chiamaka, meanwhile, was living her dream abroad. She was studying hard and making new friends. But despite her success, Chiamaka couldn't shake off the feeling of guilt. She knew her siblings were struggling back home. She wanted to help them, but she didn't know how. As the years passed, the siblings lost touch with each other. "I wonder how Emeka and Amarachi are doing," Chiamaka would say to herself, as she lay in bed at night. "I hope they're happy and healthy." But little did Chiamaka know, her siblings were struggling. Emeka was working hard to keep his business afloat, while Amarachi was trapped in a loveless marriage. And as the years went by, their lives would take dramatic turns, leading them down paths they never could have imagined. But through it all, the bond between the siblings would remain strong, a testament to the power of love and family. "I'll never forget my siblings," Chiamaka would say, as she looked up at the stars. "I'll always be there for them, no matter what." And with that, Chiamaka drifted off to sleep, dreaming of the day when she would be reunited with her beloved siblings. Emeka's wealth continued to grow, and he became one of the richest men in the village. He built a grand mansion and lived a life of luxury. His wife and children wanted for nothing, and they were proud to be part of such a wealthy family. As Emeka's wealth grew, so did his influence. He became a respected member of the community, known for his generosity and kindness. People would come from all over to seek his advice and guidance. "I'm grateful for the blessings I've received," Emeka would say, as he looked out over his vast estate. "I want to use my wealth and influence to make a positive impact on the world." Amarachi's husband also continued to accumulate wealth. They lived in a beautiful mansion with lavish furnishings. But despite their wealth, Amarachi was unhappy. She felt trapped in her marriage and longed for freedom. "I feel like I'm living in a prison," Amarachi would say to herself, as she wandered through the empty halls of her mansion. "I'm suffocating under the weight of my husband's expectations." Amarachi's husband was a controlling and manipulative man. He dictated every aspect of Amarachi's life, from what she wore to who she spoke to. Amarachi felt like she was losing herself in the process. "I'm just a shell of the person I used to be," Amarachi would say, as she looked in the mirror. "I need to find a way to break free from this toxic marriage and start a new life." Emeka, on the other hand, was content with his life. He had a loving family and a successful business. He was proud of what he had achieved and was grateful for his good fortune. "I'm the luckiest man alive," Emeka would say to his wife. "I have a beautiful family, a successful business, and a wonderful community. What more could I ask for?" Chiamaka, meanwhile, was struggling to make ends meet abroad. She worked multiple jobs to support herself, but she never gave up. She was determined to succeed and make a better life for herself. "I won't let my circumstances define me," Chiamaka would say to herself, as she walked to work every morning. "I'll rise above them and create a better life for myself." And eventually, her hard work paid off. She landed a good job and was finally able to support herself. Emeka and Amarachi heard about Chiamaka's success and were proud of her. "We always knew you had it in you," Emeka said, when he called Chiamaka to congratulate her. "You're a true achiever, Chiamaka." Emeka decided to visit Chiamaka abroad, and he was amazed by the city and the opportunities it offered. Chiamaka showed Emeka around the city and introduced him to her friends. "I'm so proud of you, Chiamaka," Emeka said, as they walked through the city streets. "You're living your dream and making a real difference in the world." Amarachi, meanwhile, was struggling to cope with her marriage. She felt suffocated by her husband's controlling behavior and began to look for ways to escape her marriage. "I have to get out of here," Amarachi would say to herself, as she paced back and forth in her bedroom. "I have to find a way to escape this prison and start a new life." Emeka noticed that Amarachi was unhappy and tried to talk to her about it, but she brushed him off. Emeka was worried about Amarachi's well-being, but he didn't know how to help her. "Amarachi, what's wrong?" Emeka asked, as they sat down to dinner one evening. "You seem unhappy and distant. Is everything okay?" "Everything's fine, Emeka," Amarachi replied, forcing a smile onto her face. "I'm just stressed out, that's all. Don't worry about me." But Emeka could see the sadness in Amarachi's eyes, and he knew that something was wrong. He just didn't know what it was, or how to help his beloved sister. "Amarachi, I know you're not telling me the truth," Emeka said, as he reached out and took her hand. "I want to help you, but you have to let me in." "What's going on?" Amarachi looked at Emeka, and for a moment, she considered opening up to him. But then she thought better of it, and she pulled her hand away. "Nothing's going on, Emeka," she said, standing up and walking away. Just leave me alone. Emeka watched Amarachi go, feeling helpless and worried. He knew that something was wrong, and he was determined to find out what it was. As the days turned into weeks, Emeka continued to try and reach out to Amarachi. But Amarachi's marriage continued to deteriorate, and she felt trapped and alone. Emeka tried to intervene, but Amarachi pushed him away. She didn't want to burden him with her problems, and she didn't know how to escape her marriage. Amarachi, please let me help you, Emeka would say, as he tried to reach out to her. I'm your brother, and I care about you. Don't push me away. But Amarachi just shook her head and walked away. Emeka was worried about her, but he didn't know what to do. One day, Amarachi fell ill. She was diagnosed with a terminal illness, and Emeka was devastated by the news. He did everything he could to support Amarachi, but he knew that her time was limited. Amarachi, I'm so sorry, Emeka said, as he sat by her bedside. I wish I could do more to help you. You're my sister, and I love you. Amarachi smiled weakly and took Emeka's hand. I know, Emeka, she said. I love you too. But I'm tired. I'm so tired. Chiamaka heard about Amarachi's illness and rushed back home. She was shocked by Amarachi's condition and was heartbroken. Amarachi's husband was nowhere to be found, and Emeka and Chiamaka took care of Amarachi. Amarachi, I'm so sorry I wasn't here for you, Chiamaka said, as she hugged Amarachi tightly. I should have been here to support you. Forgive me. Amarachi smiled and hugged Chiamaka back. There's nothing to forgive, Chiamaka, she said. You're here now, and that's all that matters. They did everything they could to make Amarachi comfortable, but her condition continued to deteriorate. Emeka and Chiamaka were heartbroken, and they knew they were going to lose Amarachi. Amarachi, don't leave us, Emeka said, as he held Amarachi's hand. We need you. I need you. Amarachi smiled weakly and looked at Emeka and Chiamaka. I'll always be with you, she said. In here, she tapped her heart. I love you both so much. Amarachi called Emeka and Chiamaka to her bedside and told them how much she loved them. She thanked them for being there for her and for taking care of her. I'm grateful for the time we had together, Amarachi said, her voice barely above a whisper. I'm grateful for the memories we made. Don't forget me, okay? Emeka and Chiamaka nodded, tears streaming down their faces. We'll never forget you, Amarachi, Emeka said. You'll always be in our hearts. As Amarachi took her last breath, Emeka and Chiamaka held her close, mourning the loss of their beloved sister. We'll miss you, Amarachi, Chiamaka said, her voice shaking with grief. We'll miss you so much. Emeka nodded, his eyes filled with tears. We'll never forget you, Amarachi, he said. You'll always be with us, in our hearts. They had lost their beloved sister, and they were heartbroken. The pain of her loss was like a heavy weight that they couldn't shake off. How can she be gone? Chiamaka would ask, tears streaming down her face. It feels like just yesterday we were laughing and joking together. Emeka would nod, his eyes filled with tears. I know, he would say. It's like a part of me has been ripped away. But even in their grief, they knew they had to be strong for each other. They had to support each other and help each other through this difficult time. We have to be strong for Amarachi, Emeka would say. We have to make sure her legacy lives on. Emeka, in particular, felt a sense of responsibility to carry on Amarachi's legacy. He had always looked up to her as a role model, and he wanted to make sure her memory lived on. He began to work even harder, using his wealth and influence to help those in need. I want to make Amarachi proud, Emeka would say, as he worked tirelessly on his projects. I want to make sure her legacy lives on through me. Chiamaka, meanwhile, was struggling to come to terms with her loss. She had always been close to Amarachi, and she felt a deep sense of emptiness without her. But as she reflected on Amarachi's life, she realized that her sister had left behind a legacy of love and kindness. Amarachi was always there for me, Chiamaka would say, tears streaming down her face. She was always supporting me and encouraging me. I want to carry on that legacy. Chiamaka knew that she wanted to carry on that legacy, and she began to work on her own projects to help those in need. She started small, volunteering at local charities and helping out at community events. But as she worked, she felt a sense of purpose and meaning that she had never felt before. I feel like I'm finally doing something that matters, Chiamaka would say, as she worked on her projects. I feel like I'm finally making a difference. Emeka and Chiamaka's efforts did not go unnoticed. They became respected members of their community, known for their kindness and generosity. And as they worked together, they grew closer, bonding over their shared grief and their determination to carry on Amarachi's legacy. We're in this together, Emeka would say, as they walk side by side. We're in this together, always. Years passed, and Emeka and Chiamaka continued to work together. They faced challenges and setbacks, but they never gave up. And as they looked back on their lives, they knew that they had made a real difference in the world. We did it, Amarachi, Emeka would say, looking up to the sky. We carried on your legacy. We made a difference. Chiamaka would nod, tears streaming down her face. We sure did, Amarachi, she would say. We sure did. As Emeka grew older, he began to slow down. He had lived a full and happy life, but he knew that his time was limited. He called Chiamaka to his bedside, his voice weak but determined. Chiamaka, I need to talk to you, Emeka said, his eyes locked on hers. I'm leaving you in charge of the family. I know I can trust you to take care of them. Chiamaka was taken aback, but she nodded bravely. I won't let you down, Emeka, she said. I'll take care of the family, I promise. Emeka smiled, his eyes shining with pride. I know you will, Chiamaka, he said. You're the strongest of all of us. You've been through so much, but you've never given up. I'm proud of you, Chiamaka. Chiamaka felt a lump form in her throat as she looked at Emeka. She knew that he didn't have much time left, and she was determined to make him proud. I won't let you down, Emeka, she repeated, her voice shaking with emotion. I'll take care of the family, and I'll make sure your legacy lives on. Emeka nodded, a small smile on his face. I know you will, Chiamaka, he said. I trust you completely. As the days passed, Emeka's health continued to decline. Chiamaka stayed by his side, caring for him and comforting him. She knew that he didn't have much time left, and she was determined to make his final days as comfortable as possible. Emeka, I'm here for you, Chiamaka said, holding his hand. I'll take care of you, and I'll make sure you're comfortable. Emeka smiled weakly, his eyes locked on Chiamaka's. Thank you, Chiamaka, he said. I'm grateful for you. You're the best thing that's ever happened to me. Chiamaka felt a tear roll down her cheek as she looked at Emeka. She knew that he didn't have much time left, and she was determined to make the most of the time they had left. Finally, the day came when Emeka passed away, surrounded by his loved ones. Chiamaka was overcome with emotion, but she steeled herself and took on the responsibility of leading the family. I'll make you proud, Emeka, she said, her voice shaking with emotion. I'll take care of the family, and I'll make sure your legacy lives on. As Chiamaka looked back on her life, she realized that she had come a long way. She had faced many challenges and setbacks, but she had never given up. And now, as she took on the responsibility of leading the family, she knew that she was ready for whatever lay ahead. I'm ready, Emeka, she said, her voice firm and determined. I'm ready to take on the challenge. I'll make you proud, I promise. With Emeka's guidance and support, Chiamaka had been able to turn her life around. She had started her own business and was now financially stable. She was proud of what she had achieved, and she knew that Emeka was proud of her too. As Chiamaka stood tall, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, she knew that Emeka was smiling down on her. She knew that he was proud of her, and that he trusted her to take care of the family. I won't let you down, Emeka, she said, her voice firm and determined. I'll make you proud, I promise. And with that, Chiamaka took on the responsibility of leading the family, determined to make Emeka proud and to carry on his legacy. As she walked away from Emeka's gravesite, Chiamaka felt a sense of determination and purpose. She knew that she had a long road ahead of her, but she was ready for the challenge. I'll make you proud, Emeka, she said, her voice firm and determined. I'll take care of the family, and I'll make sure your legacy lives on. And with that, Chiamaka walked off into the sunset, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. I love you, Emeka, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. I'll always love you. As she walked away, Chiamaka felt a sense of peace wash over her. She knew that Emeka was gone, but she also knew that his legacy lived on through her. I'll make you proud, Emeka, she said, her voice firm and determined. I'll take care of the family, and I'll make sure your legacy lives on. And with that, Chiamaka disappeared. Years passed, and Chiamaka proved to be a wise and capable leader. She guided her family through thick and thin, always putting their needs before her own. And as she looked back on her life, she knew that she had made a real difference in the world. I'm so proud of what we've accomplished, Chiamaka said, as she sat with her family around the dinner table. We've come so far, and we've made a real difference in the world. Her family nodded in agreement, smiling at her with pride. We couldn't have done it without you, Chiamaka, one of them said. You've been an amazing leader, and we're all so grateful for your guidance and support. Chiamaka smiled, feeling a sense of pride and accomplishment. She had worked hard to build a better life for her family, and it was clear that her efforts had paid off. As the years went by, Chiamaka's family continued to thrive and prosper. They never forgot the sacrifices that Emeka and Amarachi had made for them, and they always remembered the legacy of love and kindness that they had left behind. We owe it all to Emeka and Amarachi, Chiamaka said, as she looked at old photos of her siblings. They sacrificed so much for us, and we'll never forget that. Her family nodded in agreement, smiling at her with pride. We'll always remember them, Chiamaka, one of them said. And we'll always be grateful for the sacrifices they made for us. And so, Chiamaka's story came full circle. She had started out as a poor, struggling young woman, but she had ended up as a wise and capable leader. She had faced many challenges and setbacks along the way, but she had never given up. And in the end, she had made a real difference in the world. I'm so proud of you, Chiamaka, Emeka's voice whispered in her ear, as she looked up at the sky. You've done an amazing job, and I know that Amarachi would be proud of you too. Chiamaka smiled, feeling a sense of peace and contentment. She knew that she had done her best, and that she had made a real difference in the world. Chiamaka's legacy lived on, a testament to the power of love, kindness, and determination. She had changed the world, one small act of kindness at a time. And as her family looked back on her life, they knew that they would always remember her as a true hero. Chiamaka was an amazing woman, one of her family members said, as they gathered to celebrate her life. She was kind, compassionate, and strong. And she made a real difference in the world. The others nodded in agreement, smiling as they remembered Chiamaka's many accomplishments. She was a true hero, another family member said. And we'll never forget her. As they spoke, Chiamaka's spirit looked down on them, smiling with pride. She knew that she had left behind a lasting legacy, and that her family would always remember her as a true hero. "I'm proud of you all," Chiamaka's voice whispered in their ears. "Keep making a difference in the world, and never forget the power of love and kindness." And with that, Chiamaka's family continued on, inspired by her legacy and determined to make a difference in the world. "We'll never forget you, Chiamaka," they said, as they looked up at the sky. "You'll always be in our hearts." And as they spoke, Chiamaka's spirit smiled down on them, knowing that her legacy would live on forever. "I'll always be with you," Chiamaka's voice whispered in their ears. "And I'll always be proud of you." The family nodded, smiling as they felt Chiamaka's presence around them. "We love you, Chiamaka," they said, as they looked up at the sky. And as they spoke, Chiamaka's spirit smiled down on them, knowing that she was loved and remembered. "I love you too," Chiamaka's voice whispered in their ears. "And I'll always be with you." And with that, Chiamaka's family continued on, inspired by her legacy and determined to make a difference in the world. As the years went by, Chiamaka's family continued to thrive and prosper. They never forgot the sacrifices that Emeka and Amarachi had made for them, and they always remembered the legacy of love and kindness that they had left behind. And as they looked back on Chiamaka's life, they knew that she had made a real difference in the world. She had changed the world, one small act of kindness at a time.